Well, we're here on a Saturday for a surprise office hours on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear okay over there?
No, because on the delay,
Is that the phone ringing upstairs?
It's not live yet.
Oh, it's not live yet?
For
Okay.
me.
Oh, interesting. Might have to refresh or something. I don't know. It sounds like the phone is ringing upstairs, but
No, it still says I'm waiting for you.
well, happy Saturday.
There it is.
Can you hear okay now? Yeah. I know it's delayed. It's a little bit of a delay now.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. Well, here we are on a Saturday. It's been a while since we've been on a Saturday. We usually, when we're doing office hours, we're usually doing that during the week, right? But we're here today. It's very windy and rainy today. And so I know Hall & Oates is here. Lots of noises in the apartment today. The phone is ringing upstairs. The heat is on.
Yeah,
How are you doing, Jesse?
I'm well.
And that's the live stream. We thought we'd come on here for a little bit today. And hello, Claude. Hello, Walter. This is we usually do the office hours during the week, but we happened to be here on Saturday and had some time. We were so busy last week, so we usually just do sort of a live Q&A. So any questions you have while we're doing the live stream, let me know. Let us know here. Mayo, hello. Greetings on a Saturday. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday so far. We had a busy week.
Yes.
We had a really busy week, and so we weren't able to do office hours on Thursday, which we usually do. But this is like our live Q&A. I used to do a recorded Q&A video, and so this is something that we've started to do where we can sort of answer questions live and talk about anything really related to movies and entertainment and the weather.
Yeah.
The weather, food, anything like that. But there's a video up on the channel today where this week where we visited a new Barnes & Noble.
Yep.
Visited a new Barnes & Noble.
Little vlog thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really great. I mean, I'm so happy to support a new physical media store in the area. And they did there was a lot of media coverage around it. There was a line. I'm glad. I mean, we didn't go for the opening of it, but we didn't go for the actual opening, which had opened at 10 o'clock in the morning. We went later than that.
Yeah.
But how did you like it? I mean, I was so impressed with it. I wish we could have spent more time there.
I was impressed too. I think it had been a long time since I'd been in that storefront because it used to be the Pottery Barn Kids, and I had been there in a long time, so I forgot like how big the space really was. But I thought it was really well done. It's a nice store, and it'll be nice to go back after the novelty of its newness wears off.
I hope people keep going there because it was so crowded. I was really surprised that so many people went to the store. I mean, it was really sort of moving through. It was a bit of a the store seemed to go back for ages. They had different sections. There were puzzle sections. There was they had all of the area that I live in. Hey, Bridget. Bridget's watching the Rugby Six Nations England versus Ireland match.
Wow.
Well, I wonder if we can get that. I wonder if we get that if there's a way we can get that. I don't know if we can, but
maybe. I feel like there are a lot of sports on the Peacock channel, maybe that we don't watch, or on Amazon Prime. There might be some events
on Peacock. Do you think?
I feel like we were looking, then there were other sports there that we didn't watch. I feel like there was a lot of racing, like different kinds of racing on there and stuff. So I'm sure there's one of the services probably has something.
We're watching a lot of sports lately, which is really unusual for me or for us, right? We watch a little bit of hockey. We watch basketball. We just about watch basketball every single night, I feel like.
Yeah.
Walter was asking, have we checked out any Radiance releases? If you look at the haul videos that I have on my channel, there are quite a few Radiance releases that I've been talking about too, and they really look good. I'm really impressed with what Radiance does, and the boxes and the booklets and everything that they have. So lots of great releases there.
I think they're in most of the recent pickup.
In the recent
Are those
pickup
called-
videos,
so they
yeah.
call them?
Yeah, recent pickup videos, yeah.
Yeah.
Bridget says try the BBC iPlayer, so that's something maybe we could check out. But it'd be
Okay.
not that we need to. We watch a lot. We're watching a lot of sports, and then I just picked up because we went to Big Lots. I didn't pull it for today, but we got the Red Sox 2018 World Series on DVD, which I thought was. Let us know too if you can hear everything okay. If the sound is good here. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, it sounds okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure the microphone was a good distance away.
Was a good distance away.
Because it gets a little poppy if it's too
Yeah,
close.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we watched that World Series, didn't we?
We did watch that World Series, and so now we have it on DVD, which I was really surprised that there was one copy at the Big Lots that we went to.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how much baseball we'll get to watch this year, though.
I might be watching more baseball than I think.
I know, but are we gonna have to buy an MLB package? to
MLB
see
package with the NBA package that we have
that?
already.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see how much that is.
Mayo's Movie Mayhem said, my Barnes & Noble used to have a huge Criterion section, but sadly it's shrunk. There was only a small stand of movies and Blu-rays and Criterions there, but I was just happy to see anything there because we were thinking it was just going to be books only. But there were some releases there, and I picked up a couple of things, which I'll be sharing in a haul video too. In fact, in the Barnes & Noble video, I showed the two titles that I got. One was Robert Townsend's first movie, and then what was the other one I got? Tampopo was the other one that I picked up too, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
But it was so great to see a Barnes & Noble open up. I love the strategy of Barnes & Noble now that they're opening up some stores. I mean, I feel like they're sort of going a little bit against the trend here, which is a lot of people are just ordering on Amazon or from other places. But I love to see a store that you can go into and visit with other people, see other people, see other book lovers, movie lovers. There was a vinyl section there that was really impressive as well. And we didn't even have a chance to really check out the vinyl section. They really sort of move you through the store because it was so crowded when we went.
Because there were a lot of people there. I think a lot of book collectors like myself like to go to the store because you can pick your specific copy that you bring home. Whereas when you buy them, through other people like Amazon, they don't always arrive. Like the shipping can be kind of rough, so they don't always arrive in the best shape.
Yeah.
And as you saw, sometimes Barnes & Noble puts out new releases early.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we got the new. I was talking about this too. I was really excited about this. I'm going to try not to get too close. I'm going to try not to get too close to the microphone here. But this is one of the exclusive Barnes & Noble covers that I picked up, which is this Harlan Ellison Greatest Hits collection, which you can see the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition here too. And it had a different cover. There's different colors. If you order this on Amazon, it's a totally different cover. We were so surprised to see these out already, right? Because this is coming out in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I think it comes out on the 26th. And the regular edition has a red cover instead of green.
Instead of
It's
green,
red.
yeah. There's the back too. And so many accolades for Harlan Ellison. And I'm really excited to get into this. This also has a foreword by Neil Gaiman. But I'm really excited to get into this. And it was 50% off. You got another book too. I forget what book you got from the...
I got a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition cover of a new fantasy book.
A new fantasy book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of reading. I'm doing a lot of reading. My wife does a lot of reading as well. Again, as we go through the live stream today too, let me know if you have any questions. I know the Oscars are coming up too, so we'll talk about the Oscars a little bit. I'm not a big Oscars watcher anymore, but we do have a ballot we fill out every year just to see who gets the most awards. And I think the last couple of years we've been pretty even, right? We keep those, we keep the ballots, right? We printed out the ballot from Letterboxd. Letterboxd has a great ballot if you haven't seen, and you can follow me on Letterboxd too. Also, I have all those links, and usually in most of the videos, or if not all the videos, there's my Letterboxd link. But this is the ballot we're going to use, and
I don't
so we'll
think
talk about that.
see the Oscars.
We can't see the Oscars, right? Because we don't have cable.
Well, because it's
We
on
don't have-
ABC, so you have to use the ABC app or you have to use Hulu Live,
which we don't have,
which
right?
we don't have because
Yeah.
it's like the ABC Disney partner, right? So
Yeah. So we won't be watching the Oscars, but we can see the clips. We'll see the clips afterward.
we'll
That's
see
the
a
thing,
lot of
right?
it
We can see it.
afterwards,
Yeah.
but we won't be able to like we'll have to.
Yeah.
I think last year we did the same. We just checked our ballot the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy just watching the clips. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what else do we want to say about Barnes and Noble? I was saying I was so happy to see that they have that they're opening up stores. I think that's a great strategy at this point because for someone like me who loves books and movies and also Jessie, my wife, it's great for us to be able to go to a store that's close by where we can look at books and not have them get shipped in bad condition by Amazon and
Yeah, plus we end up spending more than if we use other book services like
Yeah.
Amazon and like there's a couple like discount places I shop at, but when I end up going to the store, I definitely bring home more than I was planning on.
Yeah.
So they're definitely making money by having stores.
Right. Yeah.
But they're also Barnes and Noble is pretty decent at shipping too. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Criterion just had a flash sale too, so I'll be having a video on that. I picked up a couple titles there, and I'm sure we'll be back there. We have to be careful when we go back there too, because I feel like we get a lot of books.
yeah, like I have to read a few before I'm allowed back.
We have to think about storage options. I think if we get any more books, we'll have to buy more shelves, and then
Well, the library book sale is probably coming up in a few months, so we'll probably remove maybe like donate a few titles.
yeah. Someone asked a question on a recent video about books and everything too. I have a lot of movies, but I don't have as many books. I try to keep a lower inventory of books and try to keep I think I'd say I have about 150 books right now.
Yeah.
And then we regularly donate to the library too, right? We donate to the library usually.
Yeah, like twice a year.
Yeah,
like,
twice a year we
have
donate
a
to the library.
donation.
Yeah. Daniel, welcome. It says, I love going to Barnes and Noble. I joined their membership. Plus just for movies, and my wife goes for books. We hang out there with our coffee and tea while shopping. That's very cool. I was just really excited that it was a great social event. In fact, we saw some pictures of people waiting in line because I can't remember the author's name, but
Jonathan Graziano.
Jonathan Graziano was there signing his book about Noodle, which was he had a pug right over the pandemic that he would wake up in the morning. The TikTok thing, yeah.
Yeah, The Bones or No Bones.
The Bones or No Bones book, I think, and so I think he has another book too that he was signing there too. But we saw the line.
Yeah, I think he was signing like Noodle and Laundry Mountain or something like that.
Noodle and Laundry Mountain.
Yeah, it's like a children's picture book. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get there for that, particular signing. But the book you're reading right now, there's going to be an author event there too, and I think it's this week coming up, right?
Isn't it? I think it might be tomorrow. Actually.
What is it for Mickey 7?
Mickey 7, the author of Mickey 7.
And what's the new book?
Antimatter Blues.
Antimatter Blues, yeah.
He teaches in the area, so he's going to be signing, and then his book just got optioned by Bong Joon-ho, so
that's going to be pretty popular,
gonna be
probably.
A movie early next year, I guess.
Yeah, Hollow Note said, do we typically go for fiction or nonfiction? I'm a big nonfiction reader, but you read more fiction, I think, right?
Yeah, I primarily read fiction, but there are a few nonfiction titles I want to get to. It's hard for me to sit down and really read fiction like cover to cover. I kind of have to like just read a little bit at once.
Yeah.
But I think I'm getting better because I have some new reading strategies lately. So
I love reading both, but lately I've been reading a lot of fiction. And this is a book that I'm reading too, which I think Jesse's going to read too. Neil Gaiman, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, which I find to be a lot like, I was mentioning last night, I didn't want to spoil it for you, but it's a lot like The Halloween Tree and Ray Bradbury. Also, I love these covers. And I think you and I were even saying too, that like, I tend to pick books that have like these great releases where you can get all the books. Like I have all the Kurt Vonnegut books that have the same covers on them.
Yeah, you tend to pick like authors
the J.D. Salinger stuff
who have collections that like all their covers match. Like Neil Gaiman at Barnes and Noble had a whole series with this style of cover, and then your Kurt Vonnegut books all have the same style, and then your Ray Bradbury books all have the same style with the same publisher. So it's interesting that they all match.
Yeah, And I think I even
Oh,
went
right.
back. I think I even went back and I bought the J.D. Salinger, right? The different covers because it was
Oh yeah,
I
you
forget it
had
was like 50 years or 100
you
years or something like that. I can't remember, but
you had like a Catcher in
that's
the
this one.
Rye cover, like
Yeah.
the carousel cover, and then there was like it wasn't vintage. It was some publisher had like a really nice edition, so you have multiple.
Yeah, this is a great read. I wanted to get something that I wasn't familiar with too to start out with Neil Gaiman, and I'm glad I picked this one. It's a shorter book, and I'm really liking it so far.
Did you get interested in him because he was on that Big Bang Theory?
I think it was because of Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I think so. Because it was talked about in Big Bang Theory, but I've been aware of it before.
He was in the episode of Big Bang Theory.
Oh, he was in that episode because he came to the
Twice.
comic book shop. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Stuart was like, "Oh, I met Neil Gaiman once," and they're like, "What? How come you didn't tell us?" And he's like, "Oh, he came to the because Neil Gaiman reviews Stuart's comic book shop on Twitter, and then it gets really popular." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I met him. He was at the store." And the guys were like, "How come you didn't tell us?" And it turns out that they did. They knew he was there, but they ignored him. And then Neil.
But then Sheldon doesn't know he was there, right? Doesn't recognize him.
Yeah, Neil's there another time, and Sheldon like blows him off. So it's kind of interesting that he's like in the episode twice, and they don't get it.
And they don't get it. Yeah. Yeah, we're on season 12 of The Big Bang Theory. We're almost done, right?
Yeah,
with The Big Bang Theory.
10 episodes, maybe.
What is everyone watching too? Let us know what you're watching, and if you're reading anything, fun. I guess even though we have a physical media channel, I was thinking about maybe talking about books. So let us know if you're interested in that in the chat or on the replay. If you see this on replay, let me know in the comments if you would be interested in me talking about some books, because I am reading a lot more than I used to read, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it a lot. So I would love to talk more about those types of things, as well as maybe some vinyl records and other collections that I have too.
Yeah.
So we're on season 12. Daniel says, watching Columbo, the Kino release. What do you think of the Kino release? I think it's an amazing release to just see any Columbo that's been redone on Blu-ray. Claude says, currently reading The Golden Compass and Chainsaw Man. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of those.
You've heard of those? Do they sound?
Yeah, The Golden Compass is, I think, like a middle grade or young adult fantasy series, and I think Chainsaw Man is a manga series.
Oh, they had a huge manga section there too, didn't they?
Yeah, they really
in the
did.
Barnes and Noble. It was like covering a wall. We didn't even want to stop there because I know we would probably be really into that, or we would really get.
The library has a huge manga collection too. Like the whole wall upstairs is covered in manga editions.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to the library in a long time. I feel a little bad about that.
We need to go to the library again too. There's so much to read and watch and everything. Hollow Note said, I'm starting the Beef miniseries. I haven't heard of that, but we I don't know. We loved it there. We really had to get out of the store quickly. Are you reading about the Beef miniseries?
Well, Beef, yeah, that's that one with Stephen Yeun and Alan Wong.
Oh yeah, oh that's right, yeah.
Like, what they have like a dispute in the parking lot.
Yeah, oh that's right, yeah.
Things get a little intense.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was a series. I thought that was just a movie.
I think we looked at that for a little bit, but we maybe didn't want to start it.
10 episodes. It's on Netflix, so we probably ignored it a little.
Yeah. Oh, Daniel, thanks for this information too. Manga's exploded. Barnes & Noble even has light novels now, which is crazy, which will be really interesting to see. We just wanted to, I think, avoid that section because we probably would have spent more money if we stayed in that store any longer, because we were getting stuff off tables and everything. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, especially since manga is like, if like we're both collectors, and so like wanting to have them all, like there's like 20 volumes or something, but I joined a couple more digital libraries because we live in New York, so I have access to multiple libraries like in New York City. And luckily, they just got a lot of manga and graphic novel titles, so they made it a little bit easier to read things.
That's cool.
So it's nice to be able to like preview it or read it and then decide if I want to have a physical copy or not.
There's so much.
But you were talking about that you wanted to read The Walking Dead, maybe?
I think I want to reread. I read some of the early graphic novels for that, right?
Yeah, because we have
11 or 12 of those, and we are through.
About half.
We're rewatching The Walking Dead also, which we have. A couple weeks ago, Vudu had a special for The Walking Dead on digital for $50, and I only have one of the seasons, and so we decided to pick up the whole series so we could watch it. And I don't know if it's still on sale, but that was a good deal. So if you look at Vudu, if you're on Vudu or you have any kind of a digital library, sometimes they do really great deals there.
Yeah, it was 50% off. I just looked now.
It was
$100 now.
It's $100, but even that's a pretty good deal for 12 seasons or whatever. Yeah. So we started watching that, and we're really liking that a lot. I mean, really getting a lot out of it. I think this is probably our third time through The Walking Dead. Maybe not all the way through, but I feel like we saw like seasons 1 through 3, though. I feel like we've seen a few times.
No, I think we just saw them once.
Really?
Yeah, because
I thought we'd seen them a couple times.
I think we pretty much watched, the last time we thought about rewatching it, we only watched like the first 2 episodes. So I think we pretty much only saw them as they aired.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, I thought we rewatched them in the maybe I've seen it once.
I watched it
through 1 and 2 by myself.
And then you showed them to me so I could catch up. And then from like season 3 on, I think it was just the first airing. I just finished the 2nd volume this morning. Yeah,
I would like to I would like to do that because you're reading some of them and things happen different in the graphic novels than they do in the series, right? So then sometimes you get spoiled.
Yeah, they happen. Well, so far in the first 2 volumes, along with the first 2 seasons, things happen in different order.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit spoiled because of the way volume 1 ends. And the way volume 2 ends, like, is a little, because we have to watch the last episode of season 2 still, right?
Yeah.
So I think they line up pretty well, but yeah, because things happen in different order, it's a little tricky to watch them and read them at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of Rick's character, but out of a lot of the characters as well, right? Just the difficult choices they have to make.
Yeah, because I think the first time we watched it, we're still trying to figure out like what's going on in the world, and now that we've seen a lot of it, we kind of know, we get the gist of like what this post-apocalyptic Walker world looks like, so it's a little easier to focus on the characters.
Yeah, which is good, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have to watch things many times, multiple times, just to get a different impression of it. The monkey is here and was asking about The Golden Compass. I love that movie, a severely underrated haunting performance of Nicole Kidman, which I haven't seen. And Claude said, I only watched the movie adaptation once and don't remember liking it all that much. I love the suggestions too. I mean, the more I'm reading and watching movies, there's so much to watch and read. I can never get to all of it, which I think is a big frustrating thing for me as a collector, as a reader and as a movie lover too. I can never get to all of it, but I love the suggestions. I'm always adding things to my list.
Well, it's nice how movies and books go together because so many movies are adapted from novels and short stories and things. So it's not like they're not that far apart, right?
Yeah.
Like The Golden Compass as a film and as a book may be different, but you can love the movie if you didn't read the book, or you can read the book and love the book and not even know about the movie at all.
Not even know, yeah, exactly. One of the suggestions I see a lot of times, either on many of the social media platforms too, I see recommendations, and this is one that was recommended, and I picked it up. I love Warner Archive, and I picked up this movie, Battleground. I don't know if anyone has seen this one, but I'm really fascinated with it. I've been watching it, and the interesting thing about this one, directed by William Wellman, is I always struggle to find the year of these things, but this movie's from 1949, and it's a war film, obviously, but and there's the back of that one. But a lot of this most of it anyway, is shot on a looks like a soundstage or on the backlot. So it's very interesting to watch a war film that was shot on a backlot, that where you can see, like we were watching a scene last night where the soldiers were walking through the forest, and it just looked like they were moving the camera around in different tree positions and things like that. It was really fascinating to watch. This one to me is almost like a play. Van Johnson's in this one. John Hodiak, Ricardo Montalban is in this one too. So if you're a fan of Star Trek or he's obviously been in a lot of movies, and Fantasy Island, George Murphy. But I love Warner Archive. I love what they do with these. This one has looks like a vintage cartoon and a featurette. So sometimes they include extra features on these, but I really like this one a lot. And I'm always picking up Warner Archive titles, usually when they're on sale on Amazon with the Warner Archive storefront on Amazon. But this is one that I recently watched too. Did we finish talking about Barnes and Noble? Should we talk more about Barnes and Noble, or I think we kind of covered it? I want to go back. I feel like the lighting was so good in Barnes and Noble that it made me want to get a lot more things.
Yeah,
Just the lights were so bright on things in the
It was-
sections. It was very overwhelming almost too, because you're looking at the different areas and just all the colors. And
I feel like we have to go back because we didn't even
definitely
get to
have to
see
go
it
back.
all. Yeah.
hey, James is here, by the way. Hello, James. Happy Saturday to you. James said, I have the first 2 seasons or the first few seasons of Walking Dead, but I've only seen a few episodes. And we'll be a huge binge watch at some point. We're really enjoying it. I think the digital copies in HDX really look good, and so we're really enjoying those.
I guess like our timing kind of worked out because the new like Daryl has his own show.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
Maggie has her own show, and there's a new Rick and Michelle
There's a new Rick.
show.
Yeah.
So like working through the series now might line up where we can maybe catch up.
It's going to open up a lot of things. I forgot also James mentions that James lives in the Atlanta area too, so he gets to see a lot of the familiar locations. I think we were also thinking of the warm weather too, right? We started watching when it was really cold out, and so
yeah, it's nice to see all
it
the
gave
green
us the-
trees and I found something about Battleground.
Oh, Battleground. Go ahead. Yeah.
There's this Reddit post because I saw the show Band of Brothers, and I feel like I thought they were related, Battleground and Band of Brothers. So I Googled it, and it says that Steven Spielberg said that Battleground had an influence on Saving Private Ryan, and then Band of Brothers, I think, is about the same group that Battleground is.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to see like all those things.
The
come
same
together
group. Yeah.
If you like, World War II stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just really fascinated by it. Like I said, I feel like even some of the opening scenes, they're shot in a tent, and so it's clearly on a stage, someplace it seems like. Daniel says, as a collector, I feel like the character from the Twilight Zone episode, which I've talked about before, Burgess Meredith, and that I think that's the one you're talking about, where he's a banker and during the day, I think his boss complains because he's reading books while he's sitting as a bank teller, right? And so it's the end of the world or something. He's down in a bank vault and there's an explosion or something, and he comes out and there's nobody left, but he has all these books. He collects all these books, and then I think near the end of the episode he breaks his glasses. So you realize like it's terrifying to have all these books and movies and not be able to read them.
Yeah.
Read them or watch them. So.
Yeah.
The monkey said, I love the hometown feeling you get in Barnes & Noble. Still to this day, I'm walking in Fox Books from You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
It really felt like that. I just felt like it's one of the places I think that I've been recently that I feel happy. I feel really happy to be there because so it seemed like, I mean, of course this was the opening, right? So there were a lot more people there. Yes. But everyone seemed happy and friendly, and it was really nice. I really liked it.
It's interesting because there is another Barnes and Noble in the area, and it doesn't feel the same. I think
it doesn't feel the same as all.
The other one is bigger and
Yeah.
has like 2 levels, and it's very wide open, and it's nice in its own way. But this one is a bit smaller, and it's in a mall, and so it's kind of nice to walk in and be greeted, or people are around wanting to know if you need help or if you're looking for something, or oh, that's a really great one, or whatever. So sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I like to have like a private shopping experience, but then other times it's nice to, to feel like they get it, that like they're excited, just like that you are interested in something.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of when you walk into a store, kind of like in Parks and Rec, where he's like, I know more than you. Like I didn't feel that.
Yeah, I don't feel that
walked
either.
into the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah. People are so friendly, but of course it was the opening. Everyone's excited about it. They did some promotion, I think, on Instagram also, which was nice, and so a lot of extra details.
Yeah.
Eamon said, longtime subscriber, what happened to your past streams? Just wondering if they're available on your channel. Thanks. I've been doing some cleanup on the channel because a lot of times the old live streams have old information, especially for entertainment news and things like that. So we've been doing a little bit of cleanup and making room for these new live streams and also just new content in general. So there was lots of old stuff out there. So I've been sort of cleaning that up a little bit. But hopefully there'll be new office hours. We're hoping to do this on a regular basis when we can.
Yeah. It might not be like every single week.
It may not be every week, but we'll try to give some notice if we can too for it. But usually office hours is during the week, and we really started these just to answer questions and have a place, because I know that there were a few people that really liked the regular Q&A videos. And so we thought maybe we could just do a live Q&A to answer some questions. And because before, I think I used to do the monthly Q&A video where I would, put it out. People could ask questions and I would answer those. But I thought this might be an interesting way to do it. And if you're watching this on replay too, leave me a question. I'm happy to answer that, during the live streams, or if you join the live streams, I can answer any question, obviously film related or entertainment related or book related, anything you have to do with books, movies, media of any kind. That would be.
Well, in this way, the questions will get answered faster.
Exactly.
It was only once a month. It was only in the comments of that video, and so now it's like you're just available to answer things. Yeah,
I skipped a few months too, and I think for these too, like we're going to talk about the Oscars today, but obviously that information gets old, so we'll start to archive those too as we go forward. But the shop around the corner bookstore experience compared to the big bad bookstore, the Fox book experience, right? Yeah, exactly. That's a good.
It is interesting that our
good
Barnes
clarification,
and Nobles
right?
provide both, though, right? Because the big one is like the big Fox books.
Oh yeah, right.
And, and the shop around the corner is the small, family-owned bookstore. But the new Barnes and Noble feels like
it feels like it feels like the shop around. Maybe that's such a good point.
Yeah, it's also a lot like I'm gonna be nerdy now, but it's like when you go to the Lego store. Like I love going to the Lego store because the whole point is that they just want you to like Legos, and then wherever you buy them, they don't care. They just want you to enjoy the product.
Yeah.
So they're nice and friendly and are happy if you're excited, and they're excited if you're excited about their product. And so it's kind of like that. Like they're just like, oh, people want to read? Awesome. What do you want to read? I don't even care. You need some help? Where do you want to go?
Well, didn't we hear at the Lego store too that there's an incentive, like there's no pressure to sell anything there, right? They just want you to have a good experience there, which I think is great for stores, especially these days.
Yeah, because they just want you to buy Lego in general. They don't care if you get it at Target. They don't care if you buy it on Amazon. Like Lego just wants to continue to sell Lego. So if you go to the store and have a good time, you're more likely to buy their products from anywhere.
Hello, Sue. Happy Saturday to you. Thanks for joining us today. We're just this is again like a live Q&A. Isn't it great to just go into a store? I feel like too, there's been a couple of times when we've gone to the store where we're looking for something specific, and you drive all the way there, and it could be a long way, and then it's not there. Yeah. Right. And so this, at least I felt like they had good stock on all the books that were
released. Didn't that happen to you with like the Groucho letters? You were looking for the Groucho letters?
Yeah, I was looking for I was like, because of course I really like Groucho Marx, and I was looking for the Groucho letters, and we went to the other Barnes and Noble, and I went to the information desk to ask about it, and they said, well, we could order that for you. And I thought, well, I could just do that myself at home. I don't have to, we drove all the way there, right, to find it. I think we thought maybe there was some stock there, but there wasn't. Yeah. So, but anyway, we loved it. And I hope we can go back soon. I just have to be careful how much we spend there, I guess, right? But, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Oscars today too. Let us know in the chat too if you're interested in the Oscars or you have any preferences. But I wanted to talk about how much I've talked about this on the channel before. How much I love this movie, The Holdovers. I'm really hoping for Paul Giamatti to win the Best Actor. I know Oppenheimer obviously has a lot of nominations also, but I really think it's Paul Giamatti's year. That's just my opinion. I really feel like it's. Is everything okay? Sound wise, is it too loud? I'm trying to move back from the microphone so I don't. But isn't this a great movie though? We really like this movie a lot. I think it's Paul Giamatti's year. I'm just feeling like it's Paul Giamatti's year. I would hope, but of course, there's so many people that it's so hard with award shows. You never know what's going to happen. You were saying too that James mentioned here that Oppenheimer is expected to have a big night tomorrow. I'm hoping so as well. I mean, it's a good film. For me personally, I like The Holdovers better last year than Oppenheimer. That's just me. Not that we're comparing films. It's hard to compare films too, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we were looking at older Oscar winners last night, and you made a good point about uh, movies that usually win awards are a little bit more accessible, right?
Yeah, like I was looking at the trends on the Wikipedia page, and you can see like every Best Picture nominee and who won each year for
Yeah.
like since the Oscars have happened. And recently, in like the last 5 to 7 years, it seems like most of the winners were like the most accessible film. Like, I mean, like might have had the broadest audience, I guess is what I mean by I say most accessible. Like the year Coda won.
Yeah.
That was seemed like a very accessible film where everything everywhere all at once. Like it has a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it seems like, I mean, that's not necessarily like what's gonna happen. Like I don't know anything, but I feel like The Holdovers has a lot of those qualities where maybe Oppenheimer or Zone of Interest like maybe don't have as
Yeah.
much draw to a lot of audiences. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their justification for their votes are.
I mean, I'm sure Oppenheimer's going to win a lot of awards. There's no question about it. I just, for me personally, I really liked it. And I feel like Paul Giamatti sometimes, the ad campaign leading up to the Oscars too helps the actor. It seems like Paul
Yeah.
Giamatti's been more visible. I feel like also not that the award is for the film, but for his particular body of work. I feel like he's done so many other films.
Oh yeah, we talked about how like Best Actors sometimes feels more like a lifetime achievement.
It's like a lifetime
than
achievement,
it
almost.
does
Yeah,
as like a up and coming,
yeah,
right? So that would also make sense for Paul Giamatti.
right. The Monkey said Paul's film I find amazing is Sideways, which is really good, but I think he's really great as John Adams, and he was great in American Splendor. That's another film that I really like. Cold Souls is also really good. But I mean, there's a ton of movies and TV shows that he's
He was
been
also
in.
was he in Succession or Billions?
Succession, one of those, I think. Yeah, I can't remember. We haven't seen
I
those,
don't
right?
know which one, but
yeah.
one of those.
Daniel said, with so many big box stores closing, they feel like the small shops, they're new small shops, and the big box stores are online storefronts. Very true. I just like that. I'm hoping that that's going to make a comeback where there's going to be these experiences where people feel like going out again to a store. I know how much I love to go to Blockbuster, how much I love to go to bookstores in the past, and it just seems like the bigger ones I have less and less interest in,
Yeah,
So what were we talking about? The Oscars?
the Oscars, yes.
Daniel said the year Sideways came out, people raised a lot of noise over Paul getting snubbed. Yeah, I really feel like it's a great performance, and I'm such a big Paul Giamatti fan. But we'll see what happens. I mean, there's so many talented filmmakers and artists on this list. I feel like we haven't really done our Oscar ballot yet. I think we usually do that on tonight we'll do it or something, right? Or sometime today we'll do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I haven't had a chance to see Killers of the Flower Moon, but I really feel like Lily Gladstone would be. There's so many great, performers here too. I'm just looking down the list to see if anything like really sticks out at me. Best Picture. So the Best Picture nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. Look at how many films, though. That's a lot of films, right? Isn't it always 10 films?
It is
I'm not
now,
sure.
but it used to be 5.
It used to be 5, but I mean, it's so hard with 10 films, and especially so many that are amazing. So anyway, I don't think there's no place we can see it. So we're going to have to watch the clips, I think, and see what happens. And we're not really that big on award shows, but I thought I would mention it anyway, since it is tomorrow. And since also we're going to be losing an hour tonight, apparently.
Yeah, we're spring ahead tonight into tomorrow.
Why do we have to do that every year? I thought there was a thing where they said we're not going to do that. I know we talked about this many times before.
It got like approved, but it didn't get pushed all the way.
It never got approved.
Official.
Yeah. James said Past Lives. That's another movie that we liked. Would be a surprise, but I would be pleased with it. I think Oppenheimer will take it. I think you're right, James. I think that's very true. It would be nice to see maybe another type of film. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for whoever wins, I think is my answer, really.
Yeah.
In general, but
we also have this trend of like whoever wins, like we don't watch the movie.
Yeah.
Like it just
I mean-
happens that way for the most part.
I
Unless if we haven't seen the film before it wins, we don't typically watch it after
Yeah,
it wins.
yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah, except for Coda, though, we did watch Coda afterwards, and I think I don't think we watched
Yeah,
it
but we
before,
watched
did
it
we?
like the day after it won or something.
Really? Did
'cause
we?
It was on Amazon or
Amazon,
something.
yeah.
It was on Amazon for a little while. And then I remember we were like, okay, fine, it won. Because
Yeah,
we were like,
I don't know if anyone knows in the chat, but Killers of the Flower Moon, I would have liked to see. I didn't have a chance to see it in the theater, but then the physical media release was just a Region B release, and we didn't have a
yeah,
chance
it's on
to.
Apple TV Plus.
It's on Apple TV Plus, right? But so that's an issue too, because of course, I love Martin Scorsese, and I would love to have a copy of that, the movie, so I could see it.
Well, maybe if
I read the
it wins
book.
something, it'll make a physical.
Maybe they'll
toy.
make a physical copy, yeah. But the monkey said the film that scared me of Paul Giamatti's was A Big Fat Liar, right? Which we always remember when we go on the Universal Studios tour. They have that little section from Big Fat Liar, right, where the water comes down,
Yeah, because they
the
go
big
on
flood,
the
right?
tour. They
Yeah.
the whole movie takes place on the back.
On the
lot,
back lot, yeah.
But he's the villain in that one.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
I like if you haven't seen Cold Souls. Also, that's another really
Win-win.
good
We
one.
watched
Win-Win
those
is
ones.
Win-Win is really good, but Cold Souls is really good, and he plays himself in that, which is I think is a great movie. But I mean, it's no surprise that we don't often see all of the Oscar nominees because I'm watching Battleground from 1949,
True.
and I'm watching Columbo, so it's not like I'm not always up on the current films for sure. But so we always struggle around the time change. I think everybody struggles around the time change. I just remember there being some talk about doing away with it, but I guess, and I even thought the Oscars had changed their time because of the
Time change.
time change. I think this is the first. I don't know if it's the first time, but it's one of the only times I remember it being on the Sunday of the time change. So it's 7:00. It's 4:00 Pacific time, 7:00 for us, I think. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
earlier, but anyway, we can't see it.
Yeah.
So why don't they make it more accessible for us to see it? Paul was amazing in Planet of the Apes, directed by Tim Burton. I didn't realize he was in that.
I haven't seen it.
I saw it when it came out.
I
I saw it when it came out, but I haven't seen it in a long
I
time.
think we thought about watching all the Planet of the Apes films, but
I like the new Planet of the Apes films too,
with James
Right.
Franco.
with James Franco. Yeah, I
First
like
one with
those.
James Franco?
Yeah, those are good too. One thing I wanted to show today too, and again, feel free to ask us any questions. We're usually on for about an hour, so feel free to ask any questions that you have, or if you're watching this on replay too, leave us a question. We'll answer that. Someone had asked a question about my favorite films of 1991. I think they left a question on another video, and I said some of my favorite films from 1991 would be Terminator 2, Home Alone. What about Bob, which was one of our favorite films. But speaking of Neil Gaiman, we were at the Big Lots the other day, and they had this copy of, I forget how much we paid for this, but this copy of Coraline. So we wanted to watch this. I've seen this before.
I think it was like maybe $5.
It was like $5 or something on Blu-ray, which is great. If you have a Big Lots near you, in the US anyway, they have a lot of great deals still, a lot of great physical media left there, a lot of Blu-rays for a really cheap price. And this is one that I picked up. And I'm sure there's other versions of this and things like that, but I'm just happy to have the movie most of the time. Sophie, hello. Good evening. Any questions at all too, let me know in the chat. Or if you have a question, Jesse, you can ask me.
Not so far.
You've already asked all the questions. We already have not so far. So Coraline, we'll probably watch that, right?
Yeah, I think I looked it up. It's on Max also.
It's on Max, yeah. This one has deleted scenes and the making of Coraline and a documentary and things like that.
Oh, that's a Tim Burton one, right?
This is the Tim Burton one,
And it
yeah.
has
I saw
the
this in the
same-
theater. I'm
Same
pretty
vibes
sure.
as like Corpse Bride, which we haven't seen.
Yeah, and I saw this in the theater. I'm sure.
But did he do
But-
Paranorman?
Did he do Paranorman? I don't think so.
I don't know, but it's like that same kind of vibe, right?
Yeah. And the other film I picked up, which I'm surprised I didn't have, is this movie with Al Pacino, Donnie Brasco. I'm sure there's other versions of this too, but this was only $6.99 at Big Lots, and I'm surprised I didn't have this. I'm such a big Al Pacino fan, but there's the back of that one too. Pretty no bones, but it does have a slipcover, which is nice. I love to have a little slipcover. Although I wish the sticker wasn't there. But look at the stickers, like right in the, what was the World Series had a sticker right over one of the players' faces,
Yeah.
and you can't get the sticker off, so that's kind of a pain.
No, these stickers don't really come off.
The Oscars, Sophie was asking, is the Oscars tomorrow? Yes, it is. The 10th of March is the Oscars.
Mario Day.
Is that Mario Day?
Yeah, March 10th. MAR
10th. Is that why that we were seeing so many things about Mario because of that?
Yeah.
Because it's coming up.
Yeah.
I missed that whole thing.
There's usually like a Nintendo sale.
Donnie Brasco, thoughts on the score? I've seen Donnie Brasco before. It's been a while since I've heard the score, but I'm sure it's great. And I love Al Pacino. And I remember really liking his performance in this. So hopefully I haven't seen it in so many years, but what else do I have over here? Another film that I've wanted to revisit for the longest time. I haven't seen it in years, and the 4K was really cheap, so I picked it up, as The Bridge on the River Kwai, which is again another one of I think Spielberg's favorite films, and I believe anyway. I saw an interview with him where he said this is one of the films he watches before he makes a film, and I remember seeing that. What is everyone watching tonight? Good question, Sophie. What is everyone watching tonight? We're going to see Nocturnal Animals. That is a very dramatic, scary film, I believe. Nocturnal Animals. We haven't seen it, but we have that. Oscars, Happy Mother's Day. Oscars lands on Mother's Day here in the UK. Wow.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy
Mother's Day, yes. Ours is in the US, it's in May, right?
Yeah, I'll look. It's usually around the 15th. It's the 12th this year, May 12th.
So I'm going to hopefully revisit this one. This is a 4K Blu-ray, and it was pretty cheap. This one was really cheap. So
I don't remember Nocturnal Animals being scary, but I don't remember it that much. So.
I think I remember feeling uncomfortable during the movie.
Is that the Tom Ford film?
Yeah, Tom Ford. Yeah,
mm-hmm. He's great.
He's very good. Hello, Tony from Basement Blues is here. Tony, by the way, check out Tony's channel. A really amazing collection there too. I wish I had all those titles. Sue is watching Poor Things tonight. We started Poor Things last night, and I think we would probably like it, but we started at 11:30 last night, and I don't think that's probably the time to watch Poor Things, right?
Right.
I think, the thing is, it looks really creative. Emma Stone, she's up for an award too. Speaking of the Oscars, she's up for, Best Actress, I think. So she would be going against Lily Gladstone, Annette Bening, Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall, and Carey Mulligan from Maestro. Wow. But maybe she's got a chance, though. I feel like at least, from what we saw.
Yeah. Well, from what I've seen, Poor Things looks like to me if Wes Anderson made a Barbie Frankenstein movie.
Barbie Frankenstein. Isn't it that other movie, Lisa Frankenstein, which we'd like to see, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Diablo Cody?
Yeah.
Thing where I would love to see that one.
I typically like Diablo Cody movies, so.
The monkey said, I'll be watching Twister again tonight. That's another one we have to see. Isn't there a sequel to Twister coming out this year?
Yeah, called Twisters, which is just like a Twister remake.
But it looks like from the preview, doesn't it seem like it's the same thing?
Yeah, that's why it's a remake. It's the same.
Is it a remake though?
Same story, with iPhones probably.
The Holdovers is finally available on UK. Hello, Brent. Waiting for Guffman is hilarious. I love that movie. Christopher Guest. I love that movie. It's a great one. The Holdovers is finally available on Amazon UK. The Holdovers, I was just showing this too. Here's our copy of The Holdovers. This is getting a 4K too, I think, The Holdovers. But I'm glad I don't know if you've seen it already, Sophie, but anyway. Christopher Guest movies. We have a couple of those, I think, and I'm trying to remember the one. There's
Best in Show.
Best in Show, yeah, that's a good one. That's another good one.
I feel like is he in Rat Race?
Is it Rat? Really?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of his vibe.
I don't know about that. This is another Warner Archive title I picked up this week too, and I'll probably have a haul video with some of these too. But this is the great Ziegfeld with William Powell and Myrna Loy and Luis Rayner. But again, this has a lot of great stuff, extra featurettes, vintage cartoons, and everything. So I'm excited about watching this. So that's why we don't see a lot of Oscar-nominated films, because I'm watching Battleground and The Great Ziegfeld.
Well, and a lot of Oscar films aren't on streaming services, so you have
Yeah.
to decide if you want to buy them to watch them before the awards.
Yeah.
And we typically like to preview the movie before we buy it.
What did everyone think of Wonka, by the way, too? We started watching Wonka last night at 11:30. Maybe we shouldn't start watching movies at 11:30. I think you made a good point last night. We probably shouldn't watch things later, but
Probably not, but
I wasn't a
very,
fan already at the
I'm
beginning.
in like Timothy Chalamet and Dune vibes.
We're in,
right
like,
now.
Dune
I'm in
mode,
that-
right?
I'm in that mood. So I don't really want to see him be a chocolatier.
The Roaring Twenties. I just picked up the Roaring Twenties also. I can't wait to watch that one. The Great Ziegfeld. It looks really good. I mean, I haven't had a chance to see that, but it looks really good from Warner Archive. Best in Show. That's a great movie. But Arnold said, I'm watching the Roaring Twenties tonight. I just picked up the 4K for that too, so I'm really excited about watching that one. So we'll be watching the Roaring Twenties. I feel like, wasn't there a thing too where they did start releasing some of the Oscar films? You could either go see it in the theater, which we were thinking about doing last week.
Yeah, you could see the Best Picture nominated films in the theater for $5.
Yeah.
Or you could buy
Get it at
them
home.
on Vudu for, what is it, like $20? $10? Something like that.
Yeah. Sophie said, I just read To Kill a Mockingbird, excited to see the film maybe next weekend. I'll not be seeing Wonka. I don't think we're going to make it through Wonka. We watched the opening number, and I wasn't. I think we're, as you were saying, we're more into Dune, the Timothy Chalamet from Dune,
Yeah.
more than the Timothy Chalamet from Wonka.
Yes.
But I think I think he's talented. We probably should. I should probably give it a little bit more of a
Yeah.
watch
I
than
haven't
that.
read To
But
Kill a Mockingbird in so long. I feel
haven't
like I
either.
probably should read it as more of an established adult. And I mean, the film is like iconic, right? And I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen it. I probably saw it in school when
I saw
read
it
the
one
book, and
time.
I probably didn't get it because I just
The
wasn't-
Monkey said To Kill a Mockingbird has a 4K release. Is that a Kino release? I'm not really sure because I haven't checked that out, but that's something I need to add to my collection too. And I haven't seen it in many, many years. I thought, what's his name is in that?
Gregory Peck.
No, Gregory Peck. There's a,
That's the one.
yeah, I know, but from Apocalypse Now, I can't remember the actor's name. It's not Martin Sheen, but who else is in that?
John Magna, Frank Overton, Ruth White, Brock Peters.
I thought that I can't remember the actor's name now, but
The 4K is on Amazon for $18.
Amazon, yeah, I have to add that to my list for
4K
sure.
Blu-ray digital.
Sophie said I found a copy on Blu-ray. The Digibook looks great, so that's cool. Gregory Peck. I think I just added Big Country to my list. Robert Duvall. Thank you, Sophie. Robert Duvall is in that. Robert Duvall had, yeah,
Oh,
'cause-
okay, yeah.
Robert Duvall was in
I
it.
don't know why Blu-ray.com didn't list him because he's like a very important character. In the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I was remembering because I thought it was one of Robert Duvall's first roles. So that's why. Wonka was a good musical, but it was a bad prequel. I think, to me, Wonka will always be Gene Wilder, right?
Oh yeah, I love Gene
It
Wilder.
will always be Gene Wilder for me. But that's just, I'm open to it. I'm open to watching other things, but I feel like
I think not that I have a problem with Wonka, but I think the thing that I love about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? That's the Gene Wilder version. Is that like he's not the main character, like he is,
Yeah.
but he's not like it's not all about him all the time. We stick with Charlie first, right? And learn about Charlie's life, and then we go to the factory. Whereas Wonka is like a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory prequel.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, and I didn't like how it was kind of leaning on the fact that like you already knew who he was before you watched Wonka.
Yeah.
I want to know
A little bit before it
I want to
happens.
know more about like who he is before he's like singing
Yeah.
about chocolate.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Timothy Chalamet, what does everybody think of Dune and Dune 2? Are you planning to see that? Have you seen that already? We said in our last live stream that we needed to watch Dune 1, which we did, but then we never went to see Dune 2 because we were busy with other things. But I want to see Dune 2 also still, I feel like.
We could go tomorrow.
We could go tomorrow, yeah.
We were gonna go this week, but then our fridge broke.
The fridge broke. We forgot to talk about that, but Gene Wilder was always on the verge of threatening in it. So good. You didn't know what he'd do. Yeah. Such a great actor, Gene Wilder. So I said, I'm hoping to see Dune 2 next week. Our son watched 1 last night. I thought the rewatch of 1, we were like, are we going to like this again? I'm pretty sure we thought we would probably like it again, but we watched it again and we're like, yes, we love this movie.
Like this, yeah.
I think I just like the world that was created. I like all the history behind it. I like the, the fact that this was before Star Wars, right? And so there's a lot of discussion about how similar it is to Star Wars with the voice and the Force and the
Imperial.
Yeah, the desert planet, that kind of thing, right? It was all, there's so many connections too. Hollow Note said the only thing I've seen from Chalamet is Bones and All, which I've heard is good. I haven't seen that, but I've heard that's good.
He's in a lot of successful films.
Yeah.
That I haven't seen.
Timothy Chalamet is in a lot of successful films we haven't seen. Yeah, that's true.
Well, we tried to watch Little Women, but then we're like, I don't know how I feel about Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
And he's in, I can't remember what it is, something about best friends or something like that, which was a very popular book and a very popular movie. Or no, I don't remember. It's not called Best Friends. It's called something else. But was
Chalamet in Lady Bird? That's what Sophie was asking. Well, I thought Timothy Chalamet, because we did see Lady Bird and we liked that.
I could just look it up right in front of me.
We do have the Dune books. We picked up some Dune books at Barnes and Noble, but we're gonna start those. And I'm interested to read the books now too, which I'm surprised I haven't up to this point.
He's in Call Me by Your Name, which is really popular.
Call Me by Your Name, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He was in Lady Bird. He was in Beautiful Boy, which was that movie with Steve Carell.
Yeah.
I guess he was also in Don't Look Up, which we didn't see.
We didn't see that.
He's in The French Dispatch. Also didn't see that.
Oh, we have that though. We have The French Dispatch though.
Yeah.
The Monkey said the Dune franchise, in my opinion, is what to watch when you rewatch Tom Holland Spider-Man films too much and need a break. I don't know if I fully.
He was also in Interstellar, which we tolerated him in. He's not very.
Is he a prominent character in Interstellar?
He's the son of Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
How come I forgot?
He's not in it for that long. That's right.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any questions. I'd love the chat also here. So, Zendaya, right? Zendaya.
Isn't she also in Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Brent said, I was surprised how much I enjoyed Don't Look Up. Very funny, like a modern day Dr. Strangelove. We'll have to watch that then. Is that still available? Probably.
It's a Netflix movie.
Oh, Netflix. We don't have Netflix right now. So
I think you can buy it physical for that though.
Yeah. We can keep going for a little while longer too. If you have questions or you want to let us know what you're watching or you have any other comments about entertainment and things like that. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I talked about this. I'm happy to talk about Columbo for a little bit. And also, I finished Jaws too, by the way. I read this years ago, but I finished reading it again. And I was honestly, how much conversation I've had about Jaws, the book.
Yeah.
That was so different than what I expected. They spend so much time in Jaws on the hopefully
land.
I'm not spoiling. Yeah, on land. Well, the thing is too, there's so many things about it that Quint, decides to go back every night to the dock, which they don't stay out like they do in the movie.
Yeah.
And he wants to get paid, he wants his money all the time, which is all he's really interested in. And I think when they first talked to him, they talked with him on the phone and, he's got charters and things like that he's getting money for. And so he doesn't really want to go out on the water. We need a Jaws Columbo crossover, as Brent was saying. We need that.
There's kind of an episode.
Yeah, there is an episode where Columbo is on the, I don't know if you saw that one, Brent, but there's an episode where Columbo is on the Universal lot and he sees the shark and he says, "Oh, I remember that movie."
He says, "Is that the one from the movie?"
Is that the one from the movie? But he's he's near the Jaws ride, which is pretty funny. He's so curious, Columbo. I could watch Columbo day and night, as you know, probably, right? I could watch Peter Falk do anything. The Monkey said, "I have an underrated opinion, but I love the book better of Jaws and I can't enjoy the movie. That's interesting. What do you like about the book? I mean, I like the book. It was a really fast read for me. I understand why it's a bestseller. I can definitely understand it. Of course, it's still the top favorite movie for me. Jaws is because of
Yeah.
the history, which I've talked about on the channel a lot. But
Well, I
go
can,
ahead.
I can
Yeah.
understand that if you read Jaws first, you might not like the movie because they're very different.
There's so many differences. Yeah.
So if you really loved the book for how it is, I can see being disappointed by the movie because it doesn't have like Ellen Brody. Is that her name?
Yeah.
She's barely a character in the movie compared to how much she's in the book.
She's in the book a lot, and they really spend a lot of time between and again, hopefully I'm not spoiling the book here, but there is an affair that happens between Ellen Brody and Hooper, and they really spend a long time on that. And to the point where I even thought that it's more of a like a romance book almost in a way. Like there's a certain, like they really spend a lot of the second part of the book talking about that. And I was even saying too, I almost feel like Hooper is the shark because Hooper comes in and kind of gets in the way of their marriage in a way, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of got that impression, as well. And really the end of the book, the end is like the last 10 pages. The shark just, I guess I shouldn't give away the ending of it, but I don't want to spoil it. You haven't read the book yet, even though it's 50 years old this year, Jaws, 1974. And then of course the movie from 1975. But I really liked it. I really enjoyed the book, but I was really surprised by it. I was surprised also how negative a lot of the characters were. Brody seemed a lot more harsh than I thought. The Monkey said, I read the book 15 years before I saw the movie. I can understand why that might be a little bit of a disappointment. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things about it that I feel like a lot of the character, obviously Roy Scheider as Brody, is a much different character. It seems like he's very negative in the book. A lot more
Well,
negative
because
than I would have anticipated.
He's a different
But
type of cop, right?
Yeah.
In the movie, Brody's new to the island. In the book, he's been established on the island for a while, right?
Yeah.
So he has more juggling to do, whereas Brody in the movie is new, so he doesn't want to like let anybody down, but at the same time, like he doesn't know the politics as much as maybe that he does in the book.
I feel like the politics too are really up and down, because Brody's really in a tough spot because he has to protect everyone on the island, but he's also is beholden to the city, right? He has to do whatever they want to do based on the economy and things like that. So there's a lot of that discussion in the book, and they really spend a lot of time talking about the marriage of Ellen Brody and Chief Brody. Late Night Double Feature Picture Show says Jaws was the first book I ever bought with my own money, $1.25 paperback. I think a lot of us did that probably because I remember having the old paperback too. But
I think we still do, right?
we still do. There's still a copy. There's a good copy in the Laserdisc box set of
So
Jaws. We have two copies of it.
mass market
We have a
paperback
used
size.
one, but I like this because lately I've been reading the 5x8s. Usually the 5x8s for me are better, just a little bit easier to for me to read. That is very cool though. Sophie said, I never read The Exorcist. Loved the movie, read the book recently and didn't enjoy it as much, but it was interesting. I remember reading The Exorcist also when I was a kid, when I was younger.
I feel like I felt that way about Carrie.
Did
The
you read
book-
Carrie before you saw the movie then? Or did you see the movie and then?
I feel like I saw the movie and then like years later I read the book, but it was like in between.
Yeah.
Like it had been years, like I knew the general story. But Carrie has a lot of like newspaper articles throughout it and stuff, and so I didn't like that as much.
Yeah.
Misery is like that too.
Misery, yeah.
Because Misery is a good book, but in the book you read parts of the novel he's writing, and that kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, I still liked it. I'm glad I read it again. And it's before the summer. Maybe I'm again interested in the summer. So that's why we're watching Walking Dead, reading Jaws. And
Yeah.
I mean, so it looks like we're a little bit over an hour here. Sophie was asking about the lives with Stephanie, and we've ended those. And so those aren't going to happen, be happening anymore. This is just a new feature I have on my channel for answering questions And we're going to try to do them as frequently as we can. Usually we do them during the week, but if we do it on Saturday, this week we happen to be really busy during the week, so we decided to just do a surprise one. Brent said, speaking of Friedkin, watched Sorcerer last night, which I have too. His take on Wages of Fear. Yeah, I've heard this movie is really good, and I need to see this one. I have the movie, but I haven't had a chance to see that yet. This is a rewatch of The Walking Dead. I think up until like season
8,
7 or 8. We never
8.
finished the series, right?
7,
That's why
8,
on
9,
Vudu
yeah. Yeah, we watched seasons 2 through maybe 8 as a first watch together when they aired.
Yeah.
And then we stopped watching it because I think it just too much time had passed between watching and trying to catch up, and so we just decided to start over. And I'm glad we did, because I'm into it a lot more than when we tried to like watch season 9 or something.
Yeah. Well, we'll get through it. We'll get through the whole thing. I feel like the reason we stopped watching those too is because we thought it was the same thing over and over again, right? They'd get to the end of the season, there was some kind of a battle or something,
Yeah.
and it seemed very repetitious. Whereas the first 2 or 3 seasons, to me, are very creative, very creatively done.
Yeah.
And,
but also like this is like the first time we've watched without commercials, without trying to wait week to week.
True.
We can just watch 2 or 3 episodes at a time. So
which we
maybe
do.
It'll be
which we do, right?
So maybe it'll be a little smoother getting through like the when they have like 4 different camps and all of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean we're enjoying it, I feel like, so.
Yeah.
Any other final questions, let us know too. This is office hours, and we're going to do this again as much as we can. It's really sort of a live Q&A to interact with anyone that wants to join. And of course, if you're watching on replay too, leave me a question, a comment. Well, there's lots more videos coming on the channel this year that we're really excited about. I'm hoping to try some new videos also. So let me know if there's something you're interested in seeing. If you'd like to see me talk about some books, I've been thinking about doing that. I've been thinking about maybe showing some vinyl, showing some of my vinyl collection. But since I'm reading a lot now too, and it is a physical media channel, I'm thinking about maybe talking about some books as well, just mixing those in a little bit, because I do have a lot of thoughts on those, and I again seem to be reading more this year. So
yeah.
So the monkey has a dare for me. Your monk Midge, I want you to start from the last episode to the first. You know what the thing is, when we started to get interested in Monk, right?
Yeah.
We watched didn't we watch the start of the movie?
We watched this
on Peacock or something,
movie, and then I was like, I think we need to watch the show first.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we did,
so
and then we're like,
we've kind of done
what?
this, right? Yeah.
What happened? Because the beginning of the movie is exactly the beginning of the
show. Yeah.
But speaking of watching things,
but that would be interesting though.
Last to first, you should.
Hey,
watch
Sophie, have a great weekend.
Sophie,
have a great weekend, and hope everyone has a great weekend too. Oh, Seinfeld! Weren't we watching Seinfeld backwards?
We watched Seinfeld backwards, and like you kind of get the jokes like pop out a little more, because a lot of times in the later seasons, there'll be like a joke in episode 2, and then it'll echo in episode 3, but then you notice it more if you watch 3 and then 2.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting way to watch that.
Yeah. But maybe that's a good thing to do too. Monk is definitely a series we need to get into. I think I end up comparing the detectives to Columbo. We talked last week about this new CBS series called Elsbeth, which I've been reading some reviews on. It sounds like it's a little different than Columbo, but it's kind of a Columbo type character. Late Night Double Feature Picture Show says, yes, books and vinyl would be great. So we'll have to think of some videos to do related to that. But that's the way I'm thinking about maybe going with the channel. I know I do haul videos and we do some trips sometimes. But I'm thinking about maybe going in depth on I was doing a series on Tarkovsky. I might start to do some more sort of in-depth film studies. So that might happen on the channel. But thanks so much to everyone that supports this channel. We really appreciate it. Jesse and I have a great time running the channel, and Jesse's a great producer, and she edits the videos and things like that, and really helps to kind of guide everything too. So thanks to her. And we will be. Oh, Terry, I'm glad to hear. I just left a comment on your video. Also, too, I'm hoping that you're okay and feeling well. Terry has a great channel called Terry Talks Movies, and lots of creative content on that channel. It's one of my new favorite channels. And so I hope you continue to be on the mend. I haven't seen No Bears. I haven't seen that from the Criterion Collection, but I've heard it's Terry. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. The Monkey said, I've always watched Seinfeld seasons backwards. Each season from last to first really makes you appreciate the characters that you lose along the way. So that's interesting that other people have done that
Yeah,
too,
that's
right?
funny.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
funny because it's, but anyway, we have a great time doing these. And again, this is a new feature called Office Hours. We're calling it that. And it's just Jesse and I were in the office. This is what we do. We're in the office sometimes, and we thought it's an easy way to answer some questions and interact with everyone too. So feel free to leave us a question on any of the videos, but certainly on these if you're watching this on replay. And hopefully I can answer it the following week. We're going to try to be on every week if we can. Last week, like I said, we were really busy. We didn't even talk about it too much, but our refrigerator broke, so we had to deal with that for a couple of days and move some food around and get a new fridge delivered and all this kind of stuff. So it was pretty busy. But thank you so much to everyone for coming to the chat today and coming to the video today. I'll try to give a little bit more notice too. Sometimes we'll do them as a surprise. This one was, since we didn't do one on Thursday, we did it as a surprise to kind of talk a little bit about the Oscars. So if you're watching those, hopefully you enjoy that. Kudos to all the nominees and hopefully the winner, the winners, obviously. And we'll be back very soon, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully once a week,
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.